Hi, this is Peter from the DJ Podcast. In this video, I'll show you how to beat grid your tracks in OneDJ from Audio Artery. Now with the track loaded up, you're going to want to go ahead and click on the Edit button in the top right of the player. Then you're going to want to left click on anywhere in the track and then click Edit Grid. Now what I like to do is always remove any grid that's been automatically created. So to do that, I'm just going to go up to this option here in the center, click Clear Grid. Now when you're creating a grid, you can do it anywhere in the track, but it's usually best to do it at the very start. So I'm then going to go ahead and right click and drag so that I can zoom in, so that I can see the very first beat here and the second beat of the track. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on the measure button up in the top center. I'm going to click at the very beginning of the first beat, and then I'm going to drag it out until it gets to the beginning of the second beat. You'll notice that in the center is a little box with a number, and that is the approximate BPM of the track. Underneath that little box you have two little numbers, and that is if you need to half or double time the track. Now remember, this is an approximation, so I know that this track is 128 BPM, but it gets to 127.78, which is pretty close. Now I know what the exact BPM of this track is, so to edit this, I'm just going to go ahead and click on that box. I'm going to select the whole numbers, and then I'm going to enter in 128 and press enter. So this new pink region that you are seeing is a visual representation of the spacing between the beats in the track. So if you go ahead and click and drag this region, you will actually be moving the entire grid throughout the track. What I'm going to do is I'm going to once again right click and just zoom in to the beginning of the second beat and kind of adjust the region a little bit to make sure that it is aligned with that second beat. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down near the end of the track. I'm going to right click and zoom in to a beat that's near the end, and you can see that it is pretty close. If you need to, you can hover your mouse over one of these grid markers and you'll see that two little arrows appear. You can then simply left click and drag to move the beat a little bit. Just remember that when you're near the end of the track, any changes that you make will be affecting all of the other grid markers that come before it. One thing that's important to know is how OneDJ works with these grid markers. So if I go back to the very beginning of the track and take a look at our region, you'll see that there are two arrows here on the left and right side of the grid region. Depending on how you have these arrows set up, you'll be affecting the grid in different ways. So for example, if I set this arrow to in and left to out, when I go ahead and change the grid, you'll see that it moves the entirety of the grid. However, if I then go ahead and put the left side in and the right side out, you'll see that it will only affect the grid going to the right. This is handy if you have tracks that may need multiple different grid regions where the BPM changes. Now when you're happy with your grid, you're going to want to go ahead up to the top and click on Exit Grid Edit, and that will make sure that you do not make any accidental changes to your beat grid. OneDJ is similar to programs like Tractor Pro 2 or Cross DJ in that you're going to want to beat grid all of your tracks before you play them, so that you can use the sync function to beat match them automatically to each other. In OneDJ, beat grids are especially important because if you use the edit function, you'll be able to slice up your tracks and do loops and edits in the timeline feature that is not found in programs like Tractor Pro 2.